Space is filled with a mighty force, a force of reason. On its hands rests our Earth, as do all other worlds. There is one great principle in the world regulating life, lending meaning and shedding light on all things. The Spirit. This is the first manifestation of God in the world. The second manifestation of God is love. Love sustains the world. Everything we see, the celestial spheres, the suns and the planets, are a manifestation and an expression of love. The whole universe in its entirety, the entire physical world, is an expression, a materialization of love. Everything is light. Everything in the universe is reason. Light shows that there is reason in nature. The universe is steeped in rhythm, music and harmony. There is music in nature, nature sings. A unified cosmic cycle is the basis of life, and this is the creative rhythm, the creator of everything. It organizes, recreates and builds. The thousands of forms around us are molded under its influence. Paneurhythmy means a great universal harmony of movement. All of life is paneurhythmy. Paneurhythmy is the name of that beautiful musical gymnastics, the movements of which are taken from nature itself. And these very movements derived from it are powerful, strong, invigorating. The laws of paneurhythmic movements are written in the entire universe. They are based on a profound knowledge of the forces at play in the human body and in life itself. Paneurhythmy brings life, power, joy and beauty to the human soul. Paneurhythmy is a unique Bulgarian system of exercises created around 70 years ago by the master Peter Dânov. In the first half of the 20th century, he opened a spiritual school in Bulgaria, conducted over 4,000 discourses, composed music and created paneurhythmy. Here is what he says about it. Paneurhythmy is a science harmonizing the physical, spiritual and intellectual functions of man. It is a method for the self-education of rational beings. Paneurhythmy. Awakening. The awakening of the sublime divine awareness in man is a great act. Every movement must be an expression of one sacred thought. The human being is truly human when the mind has been awakened. Man needs one thing for his inner awakening. When the idea of giving what he has perceived is born inside of him, this is a sign of the awakening of the mind. New things come from the inside, not the outside. Reconciliation. The movement of the hands in this exercise express softness and reconciliation. They teach man to reconcile the contradictions in life through the principle of softness. The exercise means peace attained inside and outside man. Pacification is a divine beam coming from the depths of the human soul. Giving. Real life begins with giving, because that is when man becomes the vehicle of the divine principle inside him. A strong man will always give. If you give little, you receive little. You must give to purify yourself. You must give to get younger, to grow, to be healthy. He who loves gives. Ascending. Raising your arms one after the other shows the eternal road of life, in which different states alternate. Suffering alternates with joy, poverty with prosperity. When penury comes, it is for your own good. When adversity comes, when diseases come, it is for your own good. Good is for your own good, and bad is for your own good. Elevation. Raising your hands here shows you accept the new that comes from the divine world. And their downward movement shows that by accepting, the old is left in the past. This motion expresses the awakening of a yearning for the divine in the soul. Opening. This exercise is intended to resolve certain contradictions in the thoughts and the feelings. The movement of the right arm is connected with the thoughts, of the left with the feelings. The movement of the hand from the chest is an opening up to the new. Returning the hand is the closing of the door to the past, closure to the old. And what opens up is the present. When a human being loves, he will open up. If you are loved, you will open up. Liberation. This is an exercise symbolizing a break from every impediment. Freedom is not external, it is an internal process. Truth shall set you free. Real freedom comes from the inside. Man judges his own self, restricts his own self, and this is what freedom of the spirit is. A good deed gives man inner freedom. Happy is he who lives well and who does good. Clapping. There is a special place in nature, in life for every man. When man finds his place in nature, he will have a small joy. These movements express the rejoicing of the soul derived from the liberation. It is a triumph of freedom. Purifying. Purity is necessary to avoid the misfortunes on the earth. Your salvation lies in the purity of your body, the purity of your mind, and of your heart. This exercise expresses the true road for invoking pure thoughts, feelings, and deeds in the life of man. To be healthy, happy, intelligent, you need absolute purity, physical and spiritual. Flying. The movements of the hands in this exercise express the law of elevation and the aspiration to acquire light and knowledge. A pure heart, a lucid mind, a boundless soul and a mighty spirit. This is the chain you can use to tie down evil and to be free. Evera. Evera means born of the sun. Our soul is the divine daughter who has descended from the sky. She is the most beautiful of God's daughters. We live in her breath. Here, turning to the left, is the female principle, the acquisition of love. Turning to the right, the male principle, the acquisition of wisdom. And the forward movement that follows each turn, this is the movement towards the truth, which is the impulse for our growth, for the intellect and universal progress. When the soul is part of each of man's actions, it is an action that has meaning and power. The soul is of divine origin. It is like a king who is laying down his signature. The acts the soul is signing have their own worth. Our soul is the fruit of the divine love, a beam from the Sun of Love. Jumping. Let us fly up to the vault of heaven. With peace, love and light, everything grows in beauty and brings us wisdom. The old sky and the old earth are the sky and the earth of sorrow. Now a new sky and a new earth are in the making, a sky and an earth of joy. Be like sensible children with glad hearts. Weaving. Every material particle has its poles just like the Earth. Between these two poles circulate electric and magnetic currents, and they are expressed in this exercise. It leads to an awareness of the functioning of the constructive principle in nature and in man, bringing him harmony and rhythm. Whatever your feelings and thoughts are, such will be the outer conditions. God has placed in your hands a weapon you can use to help yourself. The good thoughts and feelings and desires you cherish will attract people. Even from the invisible world, good thoughts and desires attract the beings just as we are attracted by flowers. Our thoughts and feelings are just as necessary as the fruit trees and the flowers. With our thoughts and our feelings, we build the future. Think. Man's power lies in thought. Thought has created the whole universe. It is the creative principle. When all people unite in their thoughts, they make the impossible possible. The first thing men must do is harmonize their thought. With paneurhythmy, thought is connected with music and with movement. This movement brings rhythm to the organism, a rhythm that comes from the realm of the rational world, from the world of the true, the sublime thought. The true thought revitalizes and cheers the human being. Thoughts and feelings determine your place in the world, what kind of friends you'll have, your health. It all depends on the thought. You must attract the harmonious thought from beings who stand much higher than us. The same holds true of feelings. Thoughts and feelings determine your place in the world. A good thought is the seed of a good deed. The good deed is divine, sublime, clear, free. Aum. The word Aum is sacred, left us by a higher culture. Aum, Amen, Amen, Om. These are one and the same word with a mighty effect and a powerful meaning. The whole universe uses it. If you say it frequently, unwittingly, you will feel its power. Aumen, Amen says everything. This exercise expresses the flight of the human spirit, its eternal striving for the sublime. The rising sun. The sun rises, it radiates light, it brings joy to life. The most beautiful moment is the rising of the sun. The sun is the divine life which constantly rises in the soul. The sun symbolizes the God of the physical world. It is a great life-giving principle. The sun means the love of man for God. The living water, that is the knowledge of Christ. Light is the language of the inhabitants of the sun. When they converse, they create light. Light brings God's blessing. It is alive and strong. It is all-penetrating. It cures diseases and infirmities. It reveals things as they really are. In this light, everything blossoms and bears fruit. You seek God outside and not inside your own self. Accept God first inside yourselves, in your soul, in your heart, in your mind, as an expression of great thoughts and feelings, as an impulse to do good and noble deeds. From there, look up to the sky and the stars. Stop by the springs, the flowers. Look at the mountains, at the valleys. Let yourself feel the soft wind. God is everywhere, outside and inside you. The square. The exercise square means that we must have that true measure things on earth are measured by. In this exercise, the face is turned to the 4 cardinal points one after the other: east, west, north and south. East means justice, south, virtue, north, truth, west, life on earth. West shows what a blessing truth, justice and virtue are for man. The wise man will find happiness everywhere and in everything, the ordinary man in specific things and places. The fool will find unhappiness everywhere and in everything. People suffer because they are unwise. When you judge, grumble, complain, you will be far from wisdom. If you are humble, you are close to wisdom. Suffering is a great blessing for the human soul. In suffering, one learns, grows noble, evolves. Beauty. Divine harmony created beauty in all of nature. Every living thing draws inspiration and power from it. Bright thoughts, noble aspirations, good deeds are all an expression of this harmony in man. On them rests human life, health and happiness. When music is combined with movement, it is beautiful. When it is combined with speech, it is rendered even more beautiful. Everyone who serves love, wisdom and truth has outward and inner beauty. Strength, health, beauty come from God, from His love. Love gives everything value. When you see someone really beautiful, you will know that that person is living with wisdom. Only the wise are beautiful. If you want to be beautiful, work with your mind. Agility. This exercise is a kind of extension of the previous one, though here the female principle comes into play. This principle processes the energies expressed in the exercise square. Since we live in the home of nature, we must first learn from nature how to apply its rules and methods. The smallest of virtues brings peace and harmony. The smallest of virtues is required from each one of us, to forgive. Forgiveness is a flexibility of the soul. Forgiveness does not originate from man. God forgives through His Spirit. When man strives to live by God's rules, he will become flexible. Conquering. Truth is necessary to the soul. Without truth, life has no meaning. When one has truth inside oneself, anything can be achieved. That is why man's yearning for truth is eternal, a never-ending process. The powerful, the great in man is his constant striving, which pushes him ever forward. The bright thought and the bright feeling make the human spirit strong and sturdy. The power of the thought is great and mighty. A strong man will not be irritated. Only with good thoughts and with love can he defeat his foes. Man's strength sits on top of misfortune. That is heroism. There is nothing better than realizing the nobleness of spirit, the dignity of your soul, the dignity of the mind, the dignity of the heart. We must all be brave in the good we do. The joy of the earth. When a good thought or a good impulse comes to mind, when you're visited by a friend or the sky's clear, or you like some star, don't miss these things because this is all the sky speaking. Appreciate and rejoice in everything. There is nothing better than being attentive to everyone and to everything. God's life is in everything. Flowers are the garments of God's thoughts. The rocks are the garment of God's thoughts, as are the clouds and the planets. In all people I seek God. In animals, in plants, in rocks, everywhere. Acquaintance. There is no gain greater than winning a friend. If even one person loves you, that is something great. It means that God loves you. Love comes from God. Approach each soul with reverence, and you will be approached with reverence. This exercise is the road to developing the self-awareness. Without love, people cannot know each other. Wherever there is love, there is knowledge. To know someone is to love him. People love fruit because they gain something from them. Therefore, man knows some things that give him something. It is impossible for someone to know you if you have given him nothing. To love someone means giving him some of your feelings and of your strength. These are the currencies in the spiritual world. The feeling of friendship is a divine feeling. It is the most sublime of all. A true friend will never do anything that is not for your good. beautiful day. When you wake up with a good thought, with a warm feeling, when you decide to do a good deed that day, when you get a good idea, know that it comes from God. God is inside every idea that can uplift you, that can give you incentive and direction. Life is invaluable when love is at work in it, but when love is not present, there is no greater pain than that. There is one living Christ of love who lives in our souls, in every noble impulse. Inside our souls, that is where the living Christ is. Whether he is in the heart of a simple man, of a judge, a teacher, a poor man, an animal makes no matter. Plants, animals, man, the sun, the stars. They all form one whole, one organism, in which the Great Spirit functions. The movements of this exercise, when we stand on one leg and the other leg is up in the air, set the nervous system in motion in the correct direction and enhance the will. These movements are for hardening the nervous system. Man will then be capable of judging his actions correctly, of seeing their rights and wrongs, and at the same time improving them. When you are on the divine path, the mind and the heart are at peace. You regard all people and all mistakes with forgiveness. All is bright, and you feel cheerful. If you stray from this path, then different deviations will occur. Strive to catch one beautiful thought, one beautiful action, one beautiful feeling every day. How happy we are. Contentment and discontentment are due to desires. The less desires one has, the more satisfaction one will feel. To be satisfied with life means appreciating everything one has been given. Gratitude is a special kind of radiant energy which man sends to the rational world. In exchange for this matter, the rational world sends spiritual light, which lights up man's path. Step by step. The soul has descended to earth to find the lost treasure it possessed above. You must know that your happiness does not depend on your surroundings. Happiness depends on you yourself. Good results cannot be attained in a hurry, but through perseverance and love. He who understands life will be equally thankful for the penury and for the wealth. Work is the only thing that elevates man. To excel in any sphere, you must know how to work. Without work, we are all bound to suffer. Work is something sacred. The work done with love is happiness. It is the law. When you perform the smallest of good deeds, you shall give millions of other people an impulse to do good. The smaller the scale you work on, the greater your achievements. To be virtuous, man must be an artist. A good man will work on his own self. He will mold himself. Through this exercise, man develops a sense for the coming of the suns and for the earth's energies. A beautiful action gives the heart and the mind an impulse, opening up a path to the universe. Early in the morning. Wherever man may go, whatever kind of work he may start, he needs energy. At sunrise, the earth is at its most negative, that is, it mostly receives. This is also true of the human organism. That is why at sunrise, man is most receptive to the sun's energies. There is always more prana or life-giving energy in the morning than at noon. In the morning, the living organism absorbs the greatest amount of most powerful prana. That is why going out in the morning and outdoor activities are especially good for you. Let goodness flow through you. It will wash away all dregs from the past that torment you today. Love takes many forms. It is very diverse. It is only now that this love I'm talking about is coming to the world. If you come to love someone and he becomes good, that will mean you love him truly. The life of any of you is invaluable. Breathing. All diseases and ailments are cured with deep and conscious breathing. The people who do not breathe with love cannot absorb the prana from the air. Singing is the thread connecting you with the wise beings. Classical songs, spiritual songs, mantras, psalms, formulas, they are the passage from one world to another. The physical, the spiritual, the intellectual. Providence. May the peace of God abide forever, and may God's joys and gladness arise in our hearts. May the peace of God abide forever, and may God's joys and gladness arise in our hearts. May the peace of God abide forever, and may God's joys and gladness arise in our hearts. The rays of the sun. Before starting the next exercise, some of the participants line up in 12 rays, directed towards the center, while the others form an outer ring around the first ones. Light is not made up of 7 but of 12 colors, 12 springs, 12 kinds of matter, necessary for the creation of the human virtues. The earth is wrapped in 12 rings or spheres which act as a special kind of transformers of the sun's energy. Between the human soul and God there are 12 classes of higher beings. The 12 beams of the sun rays mean that the 12 gateways of life have been opened. They are the zodiac signs, and the Revelation also speaks of 12 gates. There is the same connection between the sun and the human organism as there is between God and the soul. Without that connection, man could not develop. The light of the physical world is an expression of the spirit. There are two currents in nature. One is the current of the energies of the divine source of life, and the other takes the energies back to the center. This cosmic process has its analogies in all fields of life. For example, there is one solar current from the Sun to the planets, and another from the planets to the Sun. There are two streams in the human body as well, arterial and venous, where the blood flows from the heart to the periphery and vice versa. In the exercise, the rays of the sun, all of these processes of ebb and flow in nature are expressed by the 12 rays coming closer to the center and flowing away from it. One partner turns around the other, representing the movement of the earth around the sun and of the moon around the earth. This movement also symbolizes the movement of man in a closed circle, from which we all seek a way out. When the partners take each other's hands and start to sing, "You brought me into the world, Mother, a beautiful human being," this is the moment when the closed circle is broken and man goes out into the open world. It is a liberation. It is the moment when man breaks the closed circle of private life to enter the world of love. There follows the movement of the arms like the opening and closing of a blossom. This harmonizes the positive and the negative energies in man. Clapping is an expression of the joy of freedom and an entry into the new life now being born on earth. When you perform these exercises of the rays of the sun, you will gain freedom. When you perform them, you will remember everything you learned earlier in the past. Through the rays of the sun, I have made you free and have transported you to the world of talent. These exercises free man of his cares. This is heaven. Heaven is the place where the beings love each other and live for one another. Wherever love, wisdom and truth are, that is where paradise is. The pentagram. The pentagram is the symbol of the man of reason on the path of his development. Man, upright with hands stretched out sideways, is a living pentagram. This part of Paneurhythmy is danced in groups of 5 couples who move and exchange places, forming as they move a pentagram inside a circle. The whole figure is played out 5 times, so that each couple takes the place of each of the points of the pentagram. The 5 points correspond to the 5 great virtues: love, wisdom, truth, justice and virtue. They symbolize the head, leg or arm of the cosmic man, which the whole pentagram symbolizes. The movement of the couples at these points shows that rational man applies these great virtues in his life. So far, virtues were something that was talked about. From now on, they must be put into effect and invigorate human life. This is precisely the psychological effect of the pentagram. Its performance helps apply, enforce the virtues in the life of man and the whole of mankind. In his spiritual development, man works with all 5 virtues in succession, building his life with the forces they comprise. Through the pentagram, they give an impulse to the whole of mankind to set the 5 virtues in motion. The pentagram also shows the whole road man has covered in his development and the spiritual stages he passes through in his evolution. The living circle of Paneurhythmy is an emblem of a perfect, harmonious life to which mankind aspires. It is the herald of a new, sublime culture that is approaching. It is a living center of the forces of a wise nature, now at play in the human soul. The awakening of the soul is a dawn, an inner surge of light, knowledge, power and life. The light is revealing itself. The wise, advanced beings are taking part in this revelation. They create it with their thought. The soul is awakening to a new life. The divine sun is rising. The day comes, the time for study and work. Here we come, sun rays bright, royal gifts we bear. Joy, peace and love, light and living beauty, freedom for all wise souls.